Good morning, boys and girls. We're going to go over the introduction to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This is on page 13 of your packet that you were given. And I'm going to read through this. And as I read through this, I'm going to drop a couple of words. And when I drop those words, you will have to fill them in. I'll have people in the background saying those words as well. So that way you can just follow along. All right. Whereas recognition of the inherent. Good, we'll do that again. Whereas recognition of the inherent and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world. Okay, so this is just the very first paragraph. We probably went over this in class, but I'm going to show you again how this works. So as we read through it, we're going to highlight certain words that we don't know. If they're really hard for you to say, I would highlight them. So are there any words that you guys found that you do not know the definition for? Yes, Mary. Inalienable. All right, very good. Laura? Inherent. Very good. Oh, wait, I didn't even highlight the whole thing. I am also going to highlight the word recognition. Were there any other words that we had? Mary? Whereas. Whereas. All right. So as we go through this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start writing them down in my notebook on page 6. I just realized that this was the one that you guys were supposed to be on, and I apologize, but whatever. Okay, so in my notebook now, why is this so close? Nope, that didn't make it better. Well, I found out why. Okay, so in my notebook on page 6, I'm going to write down these words in my notebook. So I have whereas, I have recognition, I have inherent, I have inalienable. All right. So we're going to start off with whereas. Oh, you couldn't see that. I'm sorry. So I have whereas, recognition, inherent, and inalienable. So as I'm going through these, I'm going to try and figure out what they mean. So it says, whereas recognition of the inherent dignity of the equal and inalienable rights, that's a lot of words. I'm going to stop right there. So these are all like right next to each other. So this one's going to be a little bit harder for me to go through and try to like use context clues, especially when there's so many of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first try and figure out some word associations. So my first one that I'm going to look at is recognition. Now, I have gotten recognition before when I've done something really well. So I'm going to say recognition is done well, right? There's other examples of when you've gotten recognition. Maybe there was, there's also times when you've gotten positive feedback, like through Class Dojo. So I'm going to put a plus sign here, but we tend to think of recognition as a good thing. So I'm going to say that that one is kind of something that is a positive thing. So a positive in this sense. Okay, so we're going to move on to the second paragraph doing the same exact thing. So remember, while I'm reading, you guys, I'm going to drop a word. You guys are going to be responsible for saying those words. Whereas disregard and contempt for rights have resulted in barbarous acts which have outraged the conscience of mankind, and the advent of a world in which human beings shall enjoy freedom of speech and belief and freedom from fear and want has been proclaimed as the highest aspiration of the common people. So as I'm going through this, guys, you guys are going to highlight words that you don't know. We have targeted a couple of words that we're going to go over, and one of our words is going to be barbarous. The other one of our words is going to be conscience. And some of you are going, yeah, I got those words, but you need more words than that, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of words in here that I'm still having trouble with. But we're going to go over 2 of them, at least for right now. So our first one we're going to go over, if I can see, is barbarous. Now, when we looked at the paragraph, or when we looked at the reading itself, it says that the results of these barbarous acts which have outraged. So I'm going to write down the word outraged on here. So does barbarous sound like a good word or a bad word?
Bad word.
Right? Oh my goodness, that's true. We're going to look at this word now, because this is going to help us. Like super angry face. I don't know how to draw that emoji, so I'm just going to say really mad in all caps.
You need to put the angry eyebrows.
No, I don't know how to write that. Wait, let's see. And he has like a, oh, there we go. I think I figured it out. Okay. Has anyone ever seen parts of this word before, or this as a different type of word?
Ooh, I have like barbarian.
Barbarian. Right? That's a really terrible person, mostly terrible person. Let's go with mostly terrible person. So this is like barbarian. If we think of a barbarian, we think of somebody who's like a savage. Thank you. So like barbaric. Do I know how to spell that? Hopefully. I feel like there's an A in there somewhere, but that's okay. So yeah, barbaric. Oh my goodness, how barbaric of you, right? So it sounds like it has a negative connotation. It's a bad thing. So if we say that if it's resulted in barbarous acts, let's find a word that will kind of represent that as, instead of barbarous, we're going to take that word away and we're going to replace it with another word. I'm going to say terrible, horrible, atrocious. No? Okay, too far. I'll put terrible. All right, so disregard and contempt for human rights have resulted in terrible acts which have outraged the conscience of mankind. So I've seen this word before, but I wanted to see if you guys had any ideas about the word conscience. Maybe it was in a movie, maybe it was in as an idea. Mary?
Like Jiminy Cricket, the conscience.
Yeah, I don't know how to spell Jiminy Cricket. I can spell Jiminy, or I can't, okay, I can spell cricket. And what does Jiminy Cricket do in the movie?
He tells Pinocchio to learn right from wrong.
Right versus wrong. Okay, so if we talk about this, it's outraged the part in our brain that tells us, that helps us make decisions between right and wrong. And Mary's going to help us out with that part of the brain that helps us figure out what we have for right and wrong. You guys know it, but I'm going to give her like a little bit of time so that way you can go search your little brain. Oh, look, it's right there. Okay. So, and Mary's going to shout it out.
Prefrontal cortex.
Prefrontal cortex, PFC. I'll write it out here too. Because we've all been learning about the brain. So this prefrontal cortex is your conscience, is the thing that tells you you're right versus you're wrong. So it has outraged the conscience, that decision-making part of their brains for all of mankind. All right, so that was it for the first couple of paragraphs. And I want you to go through the rest of these, the rest of this reading on your own. We went through it in class, and you have highlighted some words. But now what you're going to have to do is you need at least 2 more. If you can try and find like between 2 and 4, you'll be good. Try and find the ones that are like the most important to focus on, because I still haven't gone back to whereas, and I'm sorry. But it's not the most important word for this. It's just going to help us understand this reading more. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. I'll see you guys later. Bye.